So welcome to this video. In this video we are going to discuss about the topic merger and acquisition. So this is about a company named MMI, and this question has appeared in the December 2008 exam. So we will see what is the requirement of this question. It's a very long and lengthy question. Okay, so we have two parts of a requirement here. We have requirement A and we have requirement B. So we'll be looking at the requirement A alone. So requirement B is like very small and very easier to solve also. So we'll look at only the requirement A. So the requirement A is, in the context of MMI's corporate level strategy, explain the rationale for MMI acquiring First Leisure and Boatland and assess the subsequent performance of the two companies. So we have to analyze why did this company MMI has acquired First Leisure and Boatland, and we have to also assess the subsequent performance. So how many ands are there? There is there is one here. We have to analyze why MMI has acquired First Leisure and Boatland. That is the first part of the question, which has a sub part. So the total marks is 15. So the 7 marks is for this section, and another 8 marks or something is reserved for this section. So within the reserved 8 or 7 marks of this section, we have to write around at least 3 to 4 points for each of it. So why MMI has acquired First Leisure, we have to write 4 points, and why they have acquired Boatland, we have to write 4 points. Then we have to tell how the First Leisure company has performed subsequently, that's another 4 points, and we have to write subsequent performance of Boatland, that's for 4 points. So that is the requirement of the first question here. So we will now start quickly with like this. So we have to generate 4 points for each of these. So that is our aim here. So what we have to do is, we have to tell the rationale for First Leisure, the rationale for Boatland, the subsequent performance of First Leisure, and the subsequent performance of Boatland. So a total of 16 points and 4 points each. So we'll start from here. In 2002, the board of MMI met to discuss the strategic direction of the company. Established 50 years ago, MMI specialized in mining and quarrying. The company has around some 15 quarries which is throughout the country. However, 3 of the quarries were closed and 2 others were nearing their exhaustion. So that is a bit of worry. So that might have led to their subsequent they could have moved to buying another company. So one of the reason is, we will mark it like this. So this is an important point. So this is an important point here. So we'll have it as an asterisk mark here. So just to mark that it is an important point. 3 of the queries were closed and 2 others were nearing their exhaustion. So out of 15, there is 5 of the queries are in a condition of closure or about to close. So that is a good point here that we have. Increased cost and falling reserves mean that there is little chance of finding new sites in the country which were economically viable. So this is another one. So the company feels that mining might not be done in a very profitable manner, and they have to move to some other kind of a business. Furthermore, there was significant security cost associated with keeping the closed quarries safe and secure. So again, there's going to be an increased expenditure even when the mine has been closed. So there are like several reasons why they have to move from mining business to some other business. We'll move on to the next paragraph. Consequently, the CEO of MMI suggested that the company should pursue a corporate level diversification strategy, building up a portfolio of acquisitions that would maintain returns to the shareholders for the next 50 years. So the company wants to purposely move into diversification. They want to move into this. So that is a key point. In 2002, MMI, using cash generated from their quarrying operations, acquired First Leisure. a company that owned 5 leisure parks throughout the country. So that is what the first leisure country is about. So we'll, rather than putting an asterisk mark, we'll put it as a FR. Okay. So now you can understand why this company has moved towards the first leisure company. So the reason for why they moved to first leisure is actually all these asterisk points. So these are not actually important points, but these are the reasons why the company has moved to the buying first leisure. So we'll mark all of these asterisks as actually FR. Okay, in an exam you don't need to worry about this, because in an exam you would have read it, and at the time of reading this sentence you will understand that why MMI has bought a first leisure. So all the points that you have underlined as actually leading to the acquisition of first leisure. So these are the points. So we'll move on now. These leisure parks provided a range of accommodation where guests could stay while they enjoyed their sports and leisure activities. They just tell about the first leisure company. The parks were all in relatively isolated areas and provided a safe and carefree environment for guests. The acquisition was initially criticized by certain analysts who questioned what a quarrying company could possibly contribute to a profitable leisure group. So this tells like what is the business of first leisure is, and their uniqueness. So we don't need to go for this, because this is a kind of a diversification. They moved from quarrying to the hospitality kind of a business. So we don't need to have any points from here. If we can move to the next paragraph. For 2 years, MMI left first leisure managers alone, letting them to get on with running the company. So that's a kind of an important point. Why it's an important point, we'll just mark it. However, in 2002, first leisure manager commented on the difficulty of developing a new leisure parks due to increasingly restrictive government planning legislation. This gave the CEO of MMI an inspired idea, and over the next 3 years, the 5 quarries which were closed or near exhaustion were transferred to first leisure and developed as new leisure parks. So what happened here is, whichever quarry was closed, that quarry was transferred to this. So this is also one of the rationale as to why this company was purchased. But to work out exactly, the reason works like this. This first leisure was acquired because of these factors. Okay, after acquiring, they have got an idea to develop it through the closed mind. So you can add this as a point and you'll get a mark, but still it's not that of a valid point. Okay, so we'll just simply continue. Because these were developments of brownfield sites, they were exempted from the government's planning legislation. The development of these new parks has helped the first leisure to expand considerably. The company is still being run by managers who are in place when acquired by MMI. So the company seems to be again run by people who have been appointed at the time of purchasing this company, and MMI plays a very little role in the day-to-day running of the company. So this is another key point, so we'll mark it as a key point. Okay, in 2004, MMI acquired two of its small mining and quarrying competitors, bringing a further 5 mines into the group. MMI introduced its own managers into these companies, resulting in a spectacular rise in revenues and profits that caused the CEO to claim that corporate management capabilities were now part of MMI. So we have got all the points here. Okay, we have to just subsequently keep moving. So this paragraph only tells about mining business. We don't need to bother much about the mining business, because we are only bothered about first leisure company and Boatland company. In 2006, MMI acquired Boatland, a specialist boat manufacturer constructing river and canal boats. So this is what that boat company is. We'll mark it as an important point. The primary rationale behind the acquisition was the potential synergies with first leisure. So why did they bought? They bought it because of this is the rationale. See, so now we can take it as BR. So Boatland's rationale. So why they bought it? They felt that there's some kind of a synergy with the first leisure company. So what is the synergy that they expected? First Leisure had experienced difficulties in obtaining and maintaining boats for its leisure parks, and it was expected that Boatland would take on construction and maintenance of these boats. So we have 2 points here. Why Boatland was bought is because of point number 1, this, and point number 2 is this. Okay, we got 2 points. We got 2 points here. Okay, cost savings for First Leisure were also expected, and it was felt that income from First Leisure contract would allow Boatland to expand its production of boats for other customers. So they felt that First Leisure's cost would fall down if they are going to use a boat company's boats, Boatland's boats, and it was felt that income from First Leisure contract would also give Boatland to expand its production to other customers also. So they felt that there is some kind of a synergy where the cost of First Leisure will fall, the sales of Boatland will increase. So they had some kind of a rationale. So we'll underline both the rationale. So we have rationale number 1, and we also have a rationale number 2, reason number 2. So we have 2 reasons here. So these are the reasons. I think we have covered a lot of reasons here. So now we will move on to the remaining paragraphs. MMI perceived that Boatland was underperforming, and it replaced the current management team with its own managers. We'll have another point. We can't put it as a rational. We'll put it under as an important point. However, by 2008, Boatland was reporting poorer results. The workforce had been used to producing expensive, high-quality boats to discerning customers who looked after their boats, after their valued boats. See, from here only the problem starts. However, by 2008 was reporting poorer results. See, as per our requirement, we have to also write the subsequent performance. So subsequent performance, we can have it like this. So this is a subsequent performance. Even this point you can take it as a subsequent improvement. Okay, so we'll mark this point. We can also say that the Boatland has been underperforming or performing poorly. We can underline this point. So why are they underperforming? Okay, it's because of this point, this entire point. Okay, we'll move on to the next paragraph. So we are just trying to find out why is Boatland underperforming. Okay, their subsequent performance is underperformance, and why this underperformance is there. In contrast, the boats required by First Leisure were for the casual use of holiday makers who often ill-treated them and certainly had no long-term investment in their ownership. So this is one of the reasons for the poor performance of Boatland. Managers First Leisure complained that the new boats were too delicate for the intended purpose and unreliably and it has a high maintenance cost. Again, this seems to be one of the reasons, but this is a reason from the First Leisure side. It's not from the real underperformance of the Boatland company. So this point we don't need to take it there. This increase in maintenance also put the Boatland under strain, and its other customers complained about the poor quality, and this can be the subsequent performance. So there has been customer complaints, poor quality, delays, all these things, and these delays were compounded by the managers at Boatland declaring First Leisure as a preferred customer, requiring that work for First Leisure should take precedence over their established customers. Since the company was acquired, almost half of the skilled boat builders employed by the company have left to take up jobs elsewhere. So this is another point as to why the underperformance is occurring, because employees have left this company, and First Leisure is also putting pressure to say that they should be treated as a preferred customer. Okay, so these are all the points which are leading to the underperformance of the company. We still have the numbers part here. For numbers part, what we'll do, we'll just have to analyze it. So we need to find out what is the subsequent performance of First Leisure. So the numbers are being given here. So First Leisure has grown heavily from 2002 to 2008. The profit seems to be 100% or doubled. Sorry, the revenue has doubled. In terms of net profit for First Leisure, it has actually gone up by 133%. So that is about the subsequent performance of First Leisure. We will now look at the subsequent performance of Boatland. So from 2.3 to 2.1, the revenue has fallen down by 8%, and net profit has fallen from 0.3 to 0.09. So that is around some 70% fall. So these two numbers are enough. We don't need to compute the numbers for MMI querying or Infotech because they are not relevant for the part A answer. Okay, so we are only bothered and concerned about this. So our next job is to take these points and put it across in the answer. Okay, so when you go through now, you will find out certain things. For example, there are like First Leisure rationale are given, but there is no proper analysis of First Leisure subsequent performance. That has not been given. So we'll find out why it's not there, because we have taken it as an asterisk or an important point. But look here, for 2 years MMI left First Leisure managers alone. This is the reason why First Leisure has performed well. So this is not only an important point, it's a point for First Leisure's subsequent performance. And also there has been like mines which have been closed or converted into leisure properties. So that is also a subsequent profit of First Leisure. Okay, so again we have the company, the First Leisure company is still being run by the managers who are there. So again that's a subsequent performance, one of the reasons for subsequent performance. And MMI is not playing any role in its running. Again, that is one of the reasons for subsequent performance. So to summarize the case, it works like this. There is a mining company, and the mining company faced a lot of difficulties. They went into the leisure business. In leisure business, they acquired a property, and they left that property to be run by the same managers. The same managers run the business very effectively, and because of that, there was like very good profit. Then MMI again acquired another company called as Boatland. They felt that there are many synergies between Boatland and First Leisure, but none of the synergies which they expected never accrued. The reason was that Boatland operated and sold a high quality boat, but First Leisure actually wanted a low quality boat. So there was a mismatch. Two, the boats were being heavily used by the First Leisure customers. So again, it was like very bad. There has been increased maintenance cost of these boats used by First Leisure. Again, that was very bad for Boatland. And there was also problems like the First Leisure company has to be treated as a preferred customer of Boatland. Again, that led to a problem. And in terms of the employees have also quit the Boatland company because they felt that this company is not worth enough to work, so they have quit. So this is the summary of this entire case. Additionally, we have some number crunching also here. So what we will now do is we will take all these points and we will note it down under an answer. We have written around more than it was required. So we have tried 4 for this. We have written 5. We should have written 4. We got the 4. We should have written around some 4 points. Again, we have a lot of points here. We still have a lot of points for every answer. So this case by nature is a very lengthy case here, and it's a very straightforward case also. But the problem with this kind of a case is that you can't mark everything from the first point itself. You can't mark that this is an FR initially. You have to read the question at least once wholly. Okay, then you can have an idea about what is this company, what is MMI, what is First Leisure, what is the Boatland, what problems occurred at Boatland, at First Leisure. You will have to get a thorough reading first at the first time. Next time when you read only, you can mark these points. So you have to read this question 2 times to answer it. So first time you read it, second time you read it, you mark all the points which are like very important and how you are going to classify. Once you have marked this, you can classify. So there's still one more point that we have to write, and that point refers to this First Leisure revenue and net profit, and Boatland's revenue and net profit. So what I'll do is I'll just mark here as financials. Financials, we have 2 things. We have revenue and net profit increase. So this should be written properly in terms of number, how much revenue and profit have increased. but just for the sake of showing you, I have written it like this. So the same point you can just take and write it for the subsequent performance of this also. So if you see, we have still added more points. So one point of time, this case is very easy because there are like plenty of points available. And another way, you have to read it at least twice. So that's about this case. We'll meet in the next video.